Welcome to Table for One. I'm the narrator, and in today's video, I'll be doing a solo playthrough of Twilight Inscription. And in this playthrough, I'll be playing as the Emirates of Hacan. Let's get rolling. Alright, so I am set up now to play a solo game of Twilight Inscription, and I'm playing as the Emirates of Hacan. This is my first game in the Twilight Imperium IP. I've not played any of those games before. I know a little bit about them, but I figured this was a good place to start with this particular faction, just because they're so iconic. You know, they're always on the game box. It's like the number one faction that I'd be able to pick out just by the picture. So I figured that would be as good a place to start as any. And I am playing on the B side of all of these mats today. So the way I think about it is the B side is for beginner and the A side is for asymmetrical. Because the B sides are all the same. So I think that's probably a good starting point before I start messing with asymmetry. I want to get comfortable that I understand everything that's going on here. The setup is almost done here. I'll cross out a couple things, but you might notice a couple of these spaces are already crossed out. That's pre-printed. That's supposed to be crossed out from the start. Likewise, there's an orange line here, an orange line here. This is crossed out. Circle and these lines. There's a few things that are just on there by default. But I'm going to play on the medium difficulty, and my marker is already primed here. Man, these things are really on here. They're kind of difficult to get on and off, if I'm being honest. But I'll give you more thoughts on the game at the end of the video. But to play on medium difficulty, we're going to cross off the first space of each of these goal tracks, and then the first space here and here. And I've played this game once before. I played last night just to make sure I knew how to play it. And the medium difficulty, so there's just a chart here at the bottom here in green you can see. Depending on what difficulty you're playing on, there's certain point thresholds you need to avoid a loss. So we need to get at least 60 points to not lose on medium. One thing I had a hard time wrapping my head around the first time through was that the AI does not have a score at the end. I kept trying to figure out, wait, how do I track the AI score? And I was getting confused as I was playing. You don't. You just score up your own stuff at the end, and the AI is kind of racing you to some of the objectives. So when the AI gets different objectives, that's really just lowering your total point potential. So this is not going to be a how to play video necessarily, but I'll try and walk through a couple things as we go. I've got two of these asset reference cards up here just so you can kind of see them. It's just double-sided, so there's each side of the card there. The agenda stacks here are shuffled 2, 3, and 4. The relic stack is shuffled. I drew randomly these 4 objectives. So for navigation, we have collector. For expansion, we have core cracker. For industry, we have diversified production. And for warfare, we have united front. And then playing as Emirates, we do have a setup change, so we claim 2 trade goods at the start of the game. So I'm going to circle these 2 trade goods, and we can spend those. They're kind of like wild resources. And we also have this ability, the first time you spend trade goods each round, you can spend as 2 of the same resource instead of just 1 resource. So like I said, they're wild, so you can use them as the 3 main resources in the game, which are materials, I want to say influence, I'll double check that, and research. Yeah, I was right. It's material, influence, and research. So we can spend trade goods as wilds, but with this particular faction, the first time each turn you spend one of those, you can choose one of these resources and get 2 of them instead of 1. And a quick reminder on the dice. So each of these colored dice has 4 of the same icon, and then 2 double of that icon. So 2 research, 2 influence, or 2 materials. The black dice are not evenly distributed either. They are 3 materials, 2 influence, and 1 research. So research is going to be less common. And on whatever sheet we're working on, we can always use the black dice, but we can only use these if they're unlocked. but whatever these roll, the AI will always use those. So this will kind of make sense as we get going. I think I'm just going to jump into it, and then I'll save my thoughts for the end. But the other ability of this house, whenever we unlock that symbol, it means on our industry sheet, we can claim any 2 spaces, so they don't have to follow the normal rules for claiming spaces. Claim any 2 spaces that contain 1 commodity. You cannot do a double commodity or any of the other assets. And then last small note before I get started, normally this deck is stored here. You can kind of see this outline, and then as you draw cards, you place them here. But just for space reasons, for this video setup, it made sense to put them there. So I know that they go there, but here we are. So let's get started. First, we're going to have First Ventures. So this is a strategy event. This is the most common type of event. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to pick one of these 4 sheets, and that'll be the active sheet for this round. And I'm going to start with navigation. I think that's a pretty typical place to start. So the first thing we're going to do is, now that we've selected our active sheet, spend these 3 resources. So on this sheet, either materials or research are used to explore, so that's just to add more lines. And then influence is used to claim a system, so that's take an explored system and circle it. Then you can use whatever is in that circle. And so we've got 3 materials on this card to spend, so that's 3 explore actions. So I'm going to explore from here. I'm going to explore 1, 2, and 3. Now, it didn't have to be in one big line like that. I could have gone 1, 2, 3. I could have spread it out a little bit differently, but I wanted to get over to this space here and claim that guild ships asset. That would be nice. So now that we've picked our active sheet and we've spent our resources, we now roll these dice. And now we'll cross off on these 3 I forget what they're called, focus dice, on these 3 focus dice, the matching symbol. So there's 1 research symbol here. So we're going to cross off 1 research on this one. There's 1 influence, so we find the 1 influence track, cross off the next one. And this one has 2 materials, so we find this track, the 2 materials track, and cross off the first one in that track. Now, I don't have any of these unlocked, so I can kind of ignore them. This is what I can spend on this turn, and this is still my active sheet. So I've got 1 research and 2 influence. So again, research will allow me to explore again, and then each of the influence will allow me to claim a system. So this works out pretty nice. I'm gonna start by claiming 2 systems. I'm gonna claim this one here with this planet, and I'm gonna claim this one here. There we go. That one has the faction asset on it. So again, whenever I get that asset, immediately on the industry sheet, regardless of what sheet is active, on this sheet, claim any 2 spaces that contain a single commodity. So normally you can only claim or circle one of these spaces that's adjacent to a scrapped or crossed out space, but I can actually do any of these single commodities. So the commodities are these red triangles, the blue diamonds, and the yellow cylinders. So you can see this red one here is a double, this blue one here is a double, here's a double of each. So no doubles, and none of these other things, none of these focus dice or what are these, counselors? Yeah, or any of those other specialty spaces. But I don't have to start next to the scrapped space anymore. So what do I want to start with? I probably want to get one of these yellow cylinders to immediately unlock the first trade good. And then I also kind of want to look at how I might want to expand outward, what other opportunities that might give me later. And so while I'm thinking about it, I claim 2 systems. Let's put these back. I still have 1 explorer left, but I think I am going to claim, is this totally symmetrical? Looks like it is. I guess I'll go over here. I will claim that spot there, which immediately gives me my first little yellow cylinder. And now this whole column is crossed off, so I can underline this. Oh, and you know what? It's not totally symmetrical. That's okay. Because I notice these focus die unlocks are different on different sides. Let's get the opposite one on this side, this yellow one. So we cross that off. And then for my other explore, I think I'm going to come from this node up this line this way. And then I'm also going to spend one of these trade goods since I've got it. I'm going to spend one of those, so I just put a line through it. And I can get, because of Masters of Trade, 2 of any one thing. And I'm going to get, I'm going to double up on, I think research. I'm just going to use them to cross off these first two spaces on integrated economy. And actually, you know what? I'm going to take back my other move. This research that I used to explore, I'm gonna erase that. You can use the eraser for small corrections like that. I'm going to use the third one to fully unlock integrated economy. That's a good start. And now, every time this sheet is active, including now, I can claim up to 2 explored small systems. So these systems are small. I'm going to get one of these red triangles and one of these blue diamonds. So that immediately crosses off the leftmost red triangle and blue diamond, which now underlines this space here. So if that doesn't make any sense, basically there are 4 different types of events cards. This is a strategy event. This is how most of the events are. I think a little more than half. But then in rounds 2, 3, and 4, there are 3 types of cards. There's a warfare card where we go to war. There is a production card where we produce resources, and that's what this is for. The more of these you have unlocked, the more of these trade goods you'll produce. And then there's a council event where everybody can vote on different objectives. So as I unlock these counselor assets, that will give me more votes. So that's sort of what's going on here. So that is the end of the round because I'm done with all my actions. So now we're going to flip the next card, and this is Echoes of the Past. It's another strategy. There are, I think by default, 4 strategy events at the start of the game, so you can kind of build things up in whatever manner you want to. So I think I'm going to activate the expansion board this time, which I think is a pretty common second move as well. So I'm going to spend 1 of each resource, but I need to activate a planet. So I've already explored this planet here, or claimed it. So now we put a line through it and we're using it here. I'm going to take this cultural planet and I have 1 of each resource. So I'm going to go with this research and this, whatever that is, materials. And then I need to do 1 influence, and maybe we'll go here. Okay, now I roll the dice. And on the focus dice, we have a single of each of the icons. So 1 of these, and then the single track here, the single track here. Those will make sense later. And what do I have to spend? I have 2 influence and 1 material. It's not really what I wanted, but I will spend it like this. I'll do a material and an influence and an influence. I always have the option to put that towards these space stocks as well. And then I'm going to spend this other trade good I have, and I'm going to gain 2 materials for it. So I'm going to cross off this, and now I've completed this row. So I've got this blue downward arrow sort of specialty icon, and that's it for that turn. So we'll go to the next one. Another strategy card. The 3 round 1 cards are always strategy. So now we've got 2 influence to spend somewhere. And I think I'm going to activate the war card this time. So I'm going to spend those 2 influence here to be able to build the PDS. So we got to build it. At least 1 node has to be adjacent to this line. And then we've got to pick, I guess we can cross over, but the left or right side, I think I'm going to go here. 1, 2, 3, claim that 1 victory point asset, and 4. All right, so now we've got 4 power here, and so we would tie with the AI if we had war right now, but we know it's not time for war yet, so let's go ahead and roll. And we have single research and a single material. So the war strength went up, and then a double influence. Okay, so what do I have to spend? I have 1, 2, 3 materials. So I'll spend those on a cruiser. 1, 2, 3 materials. So that unlocks a victory point, and I can make a cruiser, and I'll rotate that here. 1, 2, 3. So that picks up another victory point. And now my strength is 4, 5, 6, 7. And the strength here is 5. So I would win this battle, which would get me this asset, which would be nice. And I'm planning on just losing this one. I'll lose 1 victory point, but I've gained 2 here. So net positive. So that's the end of that round. I do think I might lose the race to Mechatol Rex, though. All right, we've got relics rediscovered for the next strategy, so 1 research to spend. And I think I'll go navigation. So I'm going to activate that sheet, and I have this special blue resource I can spend from this sheet. So let's spend it here to get gravity drive, so I can now explore through wormholes. And so I've got 1 research, that's 1 explore. So we're going to go from here to this wormhole and come out here. So we are going to make a play for Mechatol Rex. Now let's roll. And 1 single icon on each of these tracks. So a single, single, and single. So the AI is reaching Mechatol Rex this turn. So all I can hope to do is tie it. And I think I can. No, wait, maybe I can't. No, I can't. Shoot, that was an unfortunate roll. So this is just going to be 3 explore actions. So I have no claim action. So I'm not going to make it to Mechatol Rex first. So I'm just going to explore 3 things. So we might as well at least get that explore path. There's 1. And now I've got 2 more I can explore. And I think I'm going to go from here 2, 3. Sorry, it's sort of hard to see what I'm doing from this angle. So my lines are a little bit wonky. I can fix that one a little. All right, 3. Okay, and then let's not forget I have integrated economy. So per each time I activate this sheep, I can claim up to 2 explored small systems. So we'll get this blue diamond and this red triangle. So 1 more red triangle, 1 more blue diamond. And if I had another trade good to use, I would to claim Mechatol Rex, but I don't. So the AI is going to claim Mechatol Rex this turn. So we'll just write AI. It doesn't really do anything, but that means when I eventually claim it, I can't get 7 points. I can only get 4 points and 2 votes. So, oh well. I was first there when I played last night, but also I played on easy, so I had 1 more round to get there, I suppose. Let's see the next event. This will be the first specialty one. This one is production. So this is very quick. I have 2 of these trade goods underlined here, so that means I can circle 2 of these trade goods here to use on future turns. So that's easy. Now we go to the next round. It's going to be another strategy because it does alternate. So now we've got 2 of these influence icons. And I think I'm going to use that on my industry sheet. They're not really the icons I want, but I think if voting comes up next, I'll be in trouble. Whereas if warfare comes up next, I'm kind of okay. So let me see if I can work on this voting thing. Man, this is going to be real inefficient though. No, you know what? I'm going to do that. I'm going to stick on the warfare sheet and just hope that warfare comes up next because that would be convenient. So I'm going to spend these 2 influence to do another PDS, and I'm going to keep moving up the left side here. I just need to be adjacent to an existing ship, and I can't go through that anomaly. So I'm going to do that PDS shape like this. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I'm starting to build up for the next battle after the next one. And I gained a population bonus there, so I can circle 1 of these, and that is worth 1 victory point. So now we're going to roll. And they were all doubles on the focus dice, so the double track, and the double track. Okay, so what do I have? Oh, I've got 1 of each. That's probably good. So let's maybe do just 3 infantry. Those are unlimited, so we'll just do 1, 2, and then 3. So I'm at least adjacent to that victory point. I might be able to circle it later. So that's the end of that turn. Now we're going to do another specialty event. Border conflict, war. Okay, that was in my favor. I'm glad we got war before we got the voting. So first we're going to advance the deployment line to here. All right, and now this is the conflict. So there's a left side and a right side. And in solo mode, it's just you add up the strength for your left side, and you're fighting against the topmost crossed off number here. So that's a 5. because we're in the second stage. So they've got 5 strength. AI has 5 strength. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I win this battle. So I gain this asset. And now this side I have 0 against 5. So I lose this battle. That's going to be -1 victory point at the end. And now we are done with that battle. So we cross these off. And every time we get that icon now, we'll start crossing off up here. So let's go to the next strategy session. This one here, and I know voting is going to come up next, so I better get over to industry and get some of this done. So I can spend these 3 resources, which on this board are for scrapping, and that's pretty useful right now. So I can scrap 3 spaces. I'm going to scrap, I think this one, and this one, and then I can scrap one more. It just has to be adjacent to any scrapped or claimed space. And I think I'll scrap this one. Okay, now let's roll. All right, and we've got double materials and double influence and single research. And here I've got one of each, so I can do one more scrap and then 2 claims. And I'm going to spend this special green resource here to unlock psychoarchaeology, which says, per activation of this sheet, per active, choose any space that contains a counselor and either scrap it or claim it. So I'm going to take this counselor down here and claim it just to give me access to this part of the board if I want to scrap something, but I've claimed a counselor, so I underline one of these votes. And now I have 2 more claims and a scrap. And I'm going to claim first this space here, which is my faction symbol, which allows me to immediately on this sheet claim any 2 spaces that contain a single commodity, regardless of where they are. So I think I'm going to take this single yellow here, cross that off, and that has now earned me this victory point. And then I think I'm going to take a single red, maybe this one here, and that has earned me another production good. And now I still have a scrap and a claim left, and I'm going to scrap this yellow for later, and I'm going to claim another counselor for another vote because I know that that's coming up. So those have been used. So now let's flip over this card, and it's a council event. So claim 1 vote on your industry sheet for each unlocked space here. So I've got 1, 2, 3 of these underlined spaces. So I've got 3 more votes that I can cast. 1, 2, 3, and I started with 2. So I've got 5 votes I can cast. The AI has got 2. And then this is how this works in solo. You take the top event. Normally, you just have 1 at random per stage. But here we've got a stage 2. And this has a diamond on it. So now we're going to flip another one until we get one without a diamond. So that one has a diamond. That one does not. And we're going to cover the middle section with the speaker. And so there's a pass up here and a fail down here. The pass fail doesn't really matter. But I need to vote. And then if I have more votes than the AI, I get whatever's on the diamond one. If I don't have more, so tied or fewer, then I get whatever is on the fail. And to make it a little more interesting, we're going to roll 1 black die as well. So again, the black die has 3 materials, 2 influence, and 1 research. If I roll a materials, we're going to add 0 to the AI's votes. If I add if I roll influence, it'll be 1, and research will be 2. So they've got 2 votes. They could have as many as 4. And so if I cast more votes in the AI, then my bonus here is it says the player who casts the most pass votes chooses a commodity type. Each player claims 1 trade good for each claimed commodity of that type in their industry grid. So for example, I've got 3 red triangles, 2 blue diamonds, 3 yellow cylinders. So I'd pick either triangles or cylinders, 3, and I'd be able to get 3 more trade goods. So that would be really strong. If I fail to cast more votes than the AI, then it says the player who casts the most fail votes, choose a number from 1 to 3. Each player crosses out that number of claimed unspent trade goods on industry, so I'd have to lose one of these. So it just so happened that thematically both of these were trade related. That's not always the case, but I definitely would rather outvote the AI. So 2 votes by default, and then I'm going to roll, could be as many as 4. So I don't think the chances are very high that it'll add 2 votes. It might add 1. I'm gonna cast 4 votes. So we cross these out. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now we roll this die. As long as it's not the research symbol, then we're okay. Oopsie. Let's put it in the tray. Okay. So that adds 0. So they cast 2 votes. I cast 4. So again, I can select a commodity. I'll do red triangles. I've got 3 of them crossed off, so I get 3 trade goods. 1, 2, 3, and that'll be really strong. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those available now going into the next strategy round. So just like we did with war, we're going to cross off the rest of this row, and then we'll start crossing off up here. So now we are going into the third round here, or third stage. We don't need these cards anymore. I'll just put them back in the 2 stack. We'll grab them in the 3 stack next time. So rounds 3 and 4 are going to be, or stages 3 and 4 will be just like stage 2, each consisting of 3 strategy events interspersed with a council event, a warfare event, and a production event. And then stage 5 is shorter. There may or may not be a strategy, and then there is just war, and then that's how it ends. So let's see our first strategy event for stage 3, border defense. We have 2 influence, and I think I'm going to stick with the industry sheet here. So I can claim 2 more spaces, and I'm going to claim, I think I'm going to claim these 2 focus dice. So this one here and this one up here. So now I've got a green focus die and a pink focus die that I can activate at some point. Now we're going to roll. So we've got single, 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 so we cross those off. So military strength goes up to 4, voting strength goes up to 2, and the AI has just claimed the warfare objective, which was mark 10 nodes in 2 rows. I wasn't really going to do that anyway, so all we do is flip this over. They don't really get anything. It's just if I accomplish it now, I can only get 5 points for it instead of 9. And now I've got these symbols I can use. So I've got 2 scraps, 1 claim, and I still have psychoarchaeology, which says choose any space that contains a counselor and either scrap it or claim it. And I'm actually going to choose this one here, and I'm going to scrap it. So now I have 2 scraps and a claim available, and I'm going to scrap here, and I'm going to scrap here. And now I've got 1 thing I can claim, and it's going to be this blue focus die here. And I think I'm going to spend a trade good as well to get 2 more claims because, again, I get 2 things with my Master of Trade ability here every time I use a trade good, or the first time I use a trade good each turn. It has to be 2 of the same thing. So yeah, let's cross this off, get 2 research, so 2 claims, and I'm going to claim this double blue, and I'm going to claim this double red. So double red gets me a victory point. Double blue gets me a victory point, and also I've completed this production column. And I'm also just 1 blue diamond commodity away from getting this diversified production objective. So I'm close on that, but I'm not going to spend more resources to do that. So let's see what the next event here is. And we've got council. Okay. So we're going into another vote. So first, I get 1, 2, 3 more votes. That's not very many, though. 1, 2, 3. I only saved from last time, so I've got 4 total. And the AI is going to be voting twice, 2 votes by default. So let's grab this. This one has no dot. So now we need one with a dot. Yep. So the dot is on the fail. That's okay. Basically everything with all the cards with a dot have a dot on both sides, and they're both positives. Without a dot, they're both negatives. So don't worry about the pass-fail thing so much in solo mode. So if I outvote the AI, then on the expansion sheet, I may cross out up to 2 resource icons on each unlocked planet. Oh, it's too bad I've only got one unlocked planet, but that would still be good. And then if I fail to get more votes than the AI, then I must cross out 1 VP asset in each commodity row on my industry chart. So I guess 3 of these, that'd be 3 less victory points for me. So not good, but not as devastating as I think the last one. So I would like to outvote the AI, but I'm not going to throw as many votes at it, to ensure it definitively. So 2 votes for the AI. I think I'm going to do 3, and that'll mean there's a 50-50 chance. I don't want to spend all 4 votes though. So let's do 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to roll this black die, and we need to see materials. All right, that's what we've got. So I have 3 votes. We're going to add 0 to these 2. So let's cross this out. We're done there. And each player crosses out. Oh, no, this one. This one has the star. On Explore, each player may cross out up to 2 resource icons on each unlocked planet. I've got 1 unlocked planet, so 2 icons. Let's do this research one to complete this. So now I've got a special green asset to spend. And then, we'll do this one here. So now I get 1 population. So that's another victory point. All right. That was second council event. So the council event in stage 3. So now, next event. 1 research to spend on a strategy event. And I think when I go back to navigation, I'm really lacking on that one. So that's just 1 exploration. So I think I will go from here to here. All right, now we're going to roll. And so war strength is going to go up by 1. And voting is working on the next round already. That's going to be a lot of votes. And then we got the double research. So that goes here. And what do I have? This is explore, explore. Oh no, these 2 are explore. This one is claim. Okay. And I think I'm going to spend this blue influence focus die here on this sheet. So I can also claim this one. So I can claim 2 things. Plus I've got integrated economy. I've got gravity drive. So I've got two more explorers. And the first one is going to go through this wormhole, and it's going to come out here. That's the first explore. And then the second one is going to come down here. And now I have 2 things I can claim. And I'm going to claim another planet. I need one of those. And this relic. So we'll resolve that in a second. And then I also have integrated economy. So if I have 2 small systems, up to 2 small systems, I can claim those. Do I have any small ones? I have this one here. Okay, so 1 yellow. So I cross off one of these. Do I have anything else? Not really. I guess before I do that integrated economy, I know I claim the yellow, but I'm going to spend 2 trade goods to get 2 more explorers. And I'll go 1 here, and I guess, I don't know, the other one here. So then if I had done that first, I can claim my second small system, which will get me 1 red triangle right here. So we can put these back, and now let's resolve this relic space. So I grab the top card off of this deck and follow the instructions. Let's put it where I can see it. Dominus Orb. Play immediately. Deploy 2 dreadnoughts anywhere except on another unit or an anomaly. Wow, that's something. So these are dreadnoughts, so I get to draw 2 of those anywhere. So that's pretty cool. I'm going to deploy the first one. 1, 2, 3, and then the other 2 up like this. So that gets my strength here on the left side of this next ward of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So even if another one gets crossed off here, I'm guaranteed to win. And then over here, I've got 2. I think I'm going to let that go. And then 2 up here. And then I'm going to build my second dreadnought up here just to, I think, continue building strength here. And I'm going to go 1, 2, 3 in this configuration. So still adjacent to that node, but now it makes it much easier for me to get that population as well. And so my strength in this one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'm off to a good start. If I can win half of the combats, I'd be fine with that. And then this is also worth 2 victory points. So right here on the navigation board, I put a number 2. So I don't forget to count that later. And this is just discarded. So that was neat. And now we go to the next event and we have war. All right, when diplomacy fails. So we're going to advance the diplomacy or the deployment line. So we draw a line here. And now we're going to resolve our 2 battles. So again, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 strength here against 5 strength here. So that's a victory. So we will resolve that in a second. And then 5 strength there. My strength here is 1, 2. So I'm going to lose here. So that's -1 victory point. So this one is my faction ability. So on industry, claim any 2 spaces that contain 1 commodity. And that works out really nice. I'm going to take this blue space here, I think. And so I cross off one of those and that helps production. And then I think, oh yeah, I want 1 yellow space somewhere. Let's take this one here. 1 yellow, cross that off. That's 3 victory points. And if my math is correct, I think I've achieved diversified production. I need 3 of each resource type on this sheet. So I've got yellow, yellow, there's another yellow. Here's a double red, and there's another red. And here's a double blue and a third blue. So I've got 3 of each resource type. I've claimed this. That is worth 5 victory points for me. So industry objective 5. Great. And normally we would flip it over so that anybody else who claims it at this point going forward would only get the 3, but it doesn't really matter because we don't track the AI's points. That's something I struggled with the first time I played through, so I don't have to worry about that. So that was the resolution of this war event. So we'll go to the next strategy event. And we've already had a vote and we've already had war, so we know that this is going to be production. So I guess if I can get another blue diamond and red triangle, that would be useful just to maximize this. But I think I'm going to activate the navigation sheet. And so these all are explores. And so I'm going to explore from here. Is this the way I want to do it? I want a red and a blue. So I kind of want to work that direction. Okay. 1, 2, 3 explore actions. And now we're going to roll. So get all of these. And then doubles on all the specialty dice. So doubles here, and doubles here. And now I gained 3 more explorations, but I also have unlocked this blue influence dice, so that's going to be 2 claims. So let me explore 3 more times. I like that. And I'm going to go 1, 2, and 3. Okay. And now I'll do integrated economy. So claim up to 2 explored small systems. And what do I need? A red and a blue. So let's do this red one here, red triangle and blue diamond. Cross those off, and that gets me my last production good. Now I can claim a couple systems with this. Let's go ahead and claim Mechatol Rex. We've been sitting on that a long time. Let's make sure we score for it. So that's going to get me 4 influence and 2 of these votes. Not these here, because these are from counselors. This is just the vote icon. So who am I? I'm Hacan. All right, so that's the first thing I claimed. And the second is going to be this other relic, because those are super cool and they appear to be pretty strong. So we'll get this, and it says the Codex. You may play this relic at the end of any round. Resolve 1 per active technology on each sheet, even if those technologies are locked. Wow! And then this is worth 4 points here, so 4 points. And then I'm going to spend a trade good. Let's cross this off to get influence, and it's the first time I've done it this turn, so I get 2 influence, so I can claim 2 more things. And I'm going to claim a planet. I need another one of these pretty badly. And I think of everything that I see, I'm going to go for these 4 victory points. It's probably a good thing to have. And I am not going to spend the codex right now. Let's go to the next turn. And this is production. We knew it would be. Bustling economies. So we're going to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more of these trade goods. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And every pair of those that is unspent at the end of the game is worth 1 point. I think I'm better off spending them. And now we're in stage 4. We've got our first strategy event, Forbidden Knowledge. So there is 1 research to spend. Ooh, and I should have crossed this off at the end of the last war. And I think I finally need to activate this expansion again. It's been a long time I've been ignoring it. So I'm going to cross off this planet by claiming this one. And I can spend 1 research. So which of those 2 do I want to spend? I think this one. And now we roll. Let's pick these up. Whoops. All right, so for the AI, we've got double blue and double green and a single pink. All right, and the double blue has achieved this industry objective, but I have already gotten that one, but we'll go ahead and flip it just to show that the AI has done it. Good job, AI. Good on you. Now I can spend, what have I got here? A research, and an influence. That's interesting. I'll tell you what, let's take this. I haven't claimed this green one yet, so we'll put the green focus die here. So that gives me 4 research, and I will think about this very carefully. Oh, and I've been sitting on this a while, huh? Let's cross out this resource to get Neural Motivator. So per active on each unlocked planet, cross out 1 material or 1 influence in a row or column that has a population asset. And so I'll start with that. There's a population asset here. There's a population asset up there. So we'll do that. And now I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 research to spend. And I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. So now this is unlocked. Per active, cross out 1 unclaimed asset on an unlocked planet to cross out 2 resource icons there. So I may use that. I'm not sure. Oh, but I did complete this row. So this gets me a counselor. So let's underline this, and that's 3 victory points. That's important. I've used all my research, so I've just got this 1 influence left, and then I could do self-assembly routines. So I think I'm going to put this, I'm going to cross that off, and then I'm going to do self-assembly routines, cross out 1 unclaimed asset on an unlocked planet to cross out 2 resource icons there. So I'm going to cross out this, and then I can cross out 2 other icons, and I'll cross out this one, which gets me this, and I guess this one, which doesn't get me anything yet. So this has been spent. I think I'm going to spend a commodity, and I'm going to get double materials, so I can cross off 2 materials, and let's do this one here, which gets me a population, so another victory point. And we will just do this one just to cross it off. That'll make more sense in a moment, but I wouldn't mind getting this core cracker to fully complete 3 planets, which, that being the case, maybe I should have done this a little bit differently. But I do have 1 more planet I can claim. So which other one would I want to complete? Let's claim this planet, this hazardous planet. So now I'll turn in the codex. So you can play this relic at the end of any round, resolve 1 per active technology on each sheet, even if those technologies are locked. So let's start with navigation. Per active, claim up to 2 explored small systems. I think I've only got 1. I've got this yellow cylinder. I'll take it. Is there a second one? No, I don't think so. Okay, and now we'll go here, and these are both per active, so I can select one. I'm going to do self-assembly routines. So cross out 1 unclaimed asset on an unlocked planet. Man, I was really planning on this one, though. Yeah, I'll do self-assembly routines. Cross out 1 unclaimed asset on an unlocked planet. So I'm going to do this planet. I'm going to cross out just this blue commodity, and now I can cross out 2 resource icons on this planet. And I think they're going to be research ones because those are tougher to come by. Although, like, I'll definitely get this one because I'm looking for counselors. Yeah, you know what? The second one, I'll do this research one here. I'll cross those out. Now, on this sheet, per active, choose any space that contains a counselor and either scrap it or claim it. So let's do this one, which I wouldn't normally be able to claim. Let's claim that one. That'll get me another vote. Then on this sheet, transit diodes. Per active, deploy 2 infantry. Each infantry must be adjacent to another unit and can be deployed below the deployment line. Well, let's deploy one right here to get me that population, another victory point. And the other one, I don't know if it really matters. Like, I guess let's go here just to make it a little easier to maybe hop up here and get that victory point too. So, okay, that was certainly very powerful. I like that. Let's see what our next event is. We're in stage 4 and we have war. All right, so those infantry were just in time. So we need to advance the deployment line. So that is here now. And we're in stage 4, I said, right? Yep, okay. So the AI has a strength of 4. So here I have a strength of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I definitely win that one. So that gets me one of these assets. And on the other side, I've got 0 to 4, so I definitely lose that one, -1 victory point. That's okay. You know, in every stage, I lost a victory point, but overall, I've gained 1, 2, 3, 4 just through placement options throughout. So I'm still doing all right. Now we can cross off the rest of these, and we go to our next stage 4 strategy event. This one has 3 materials to spend, and I think I'm going to go back to my expansion sheet, although maybe I should go to military at this point. I don't know. I am in a little bit of a race on this expansion one. So yeah, I guess I do need to go to expansion. Let's do that. So let's spend my 3 materials, and we'll spend 1 here, which completes this row and this column. So 2 more population for 4 points, and that planet is done. My second one I'll spend here, which also completes this column, getting me another population, 2 more points. And I've only got 1 more material left to spend. We'll go here. That gets me a counselor, so another vote. And now we roll. All right, and we've got, so a single here, but this row is complete, so it's going to count as a double. So that's kind of what I saw coming. So the AI is going to claim this turn, but we could tie. We can also get the 9 points. Then we've got a double here and a single here, so up to 6 military strength for that final battle. And I have 2 materials, which are not useful. 1 influence, and on this sheet, I've got this die as well. So let's do the science and influence first. We'll go this, or research, and this influence. That finishes this track, so I've got that icon to spend, which the only thing I see I could use it on is to unlock the War Suns, and that would be, I guess, neat. So these are spent. These I don't have anything I can really do with, so they're kind of wasted. I'm just going to start working on that space dock, but I don't think I'm going to get it. But I've got a ton of resources here I can spend. So the first time I do that on a turn, I get double. So let's get 2 influence and cross off this one and this one. Now that earns me this symbol. Now for the second time on this turn, because neither of these are going to be helpful to me, I'm just going to spend another one to get 1 research. Cross that off. And now I get another counselor, so that's another vote, and that's 4 victory points. That's a big deal. And so we've tied on this objective. We've both got 9 victory points for that, although the AI doesn't actually get any. But that was, I think, important. So between getting the points for the objective and getting a bunch of population on that turn, a couple of votes, that got me VP. I think that was a good turn. That was well worth it. So let's see what's next. We have, what is this? Production. So I'm going to claim 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more resources. Wow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have a lot of resources. I should just get to spending them. Now we have strategy event with 2 influence. And you know what? I thought I was going to go down here to warfare, but I'm going to go over here to industry actually. And I'm going to, while I'm here, spend this special green resource up here so that I can scrap that space adjacent to it. And I'm also going to do the same with this yellow special resource here to scrap this space. So now with these 2 blues, I can claim 2 spaces, and I'm going to claim this double yellow, 5 victory points. And then, I don't know, I'll go with this double red. I'll claim that. 1, 3 victory points, 2. And now we roll. So for the AI, we've got one of these. That war strength is up to 8. And we've got a double blue. And we've got a single green, which just counts as a double green at this point. Those tracks are about done. Now I have these to spend. And I still have a red die unlock I haven't used, but I think I'm going to save that. So what'll this get me? 2 scraps and a claim. So let's do the claim first. I'm going to claim this double blue. So that's spent. Double blue. That gets me 3 victory points. And now I'm going to spend a commodity. I'll get research, and I get 2 of them, so I can claim 2 more things. And I'm going to claim this double red and this double blue. So 2 more red, 2 more blue. These tracks are all maxed. And I still have this, per active, choose any space that contains a counselor and either scrap it or claim it. So let's claim this counselor here. And I've got a couple of scraps left. So I don't know how I'd be able to get this last one, because I could grab that counselor, I can claim it, but I've scrapped this one, so I'd have to find a counselor elsewhere, maybe over here on one of these planets in order to maximize this, but I don't think I'm going to get there necessarily. And then I don't really need any of the other commodities because all those tracks are maxed. So I think I'll scrap, I don't know, here and here. Let's do that. So if I want to, I've got this unclaimed, or I've got this claimed red die that I just haven't used yet, but now I could get another green one and another blue one if that's something I choose to do. But overall, that was pretty strong. I maxed out a lot of stuff here. So let's flip this card, and we have, what is this? The council. Okay, so this is the last vote. So let's get the stage 4s. This one does not have a star. That one does not. That one does. Okay, so if I outvote the AI, I get this fail at the bottom. It says each player claims 1 trade good on industry for every 3 population assets they have claimed. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I get 2 more trade goods. I don't know that I really need that. But the alternative is, on expansion, each player crosses out all unclaimed assets on 1 planet. Luckily, all my planets are done. They must choose an unlocked planet that has at least 2 unclaimed assets if possible. So I guess I'd have to cross out assets on a locked planet. I don't really care. But the votes also aren't worth anything to me at the end, whereas these trade goods are. So I might as well try and get some extra trade goods. So how many more votes do I get? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And the AI is going to do 4 votes. They might roll a 2 and get a 6, so I'll spend 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it doesn't matter what's rolled. I know I'm going to win, so let's, I guess, just do it for completeness. They have 4. Ooh, 2. So they got 6, and I voted 7. So I get to get 1 trade good for every 3 population. Again, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and 1. So 2 more trade goods. So that's 1 VP essentially. Not huge. And now we can put these back, and we're going into stage 5. Ooh, I hope we do have one more strategy. I don't remember now. Okay, yeah, we've got one. We may have a second. We may or may not have a second strategy. So I definitely need to go over here to warfare for this one. And we've got 3 materials. So I'm going to spend those materials here. 1, 2, 3. Circle this. I get a cruiser. And I suppose it doesn't matter which side I go on, but the victory points are a little more accessible here. So let's go 1, 2, 3. There's my cruiser. I got a victory point there. And now we roll. Ooh, and that's good. So the AI gets this. So they claim this navigation objective rather than getting stronger for the war. That'll make it easier for me. And then 1, blue doesn't really matter. The blue tracks are done. 1 more double green. That doesn't get them anything either. So I have material, and an influence. And let's spend whatever else I can. I've got this yellow resource here, so let's get transit diodes. And I also have this red special resource here, so let's unlock dreadnoughts. I guess I do that. Those are unlocked now, and I can unlock this special red die, so I might as well take it. So that gets me up to 4 materials and an influence, and I've still got a ton of commodities. So let's spend 1 influence here. I've got 4 materials. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know if that made sense, but I did it. So let me build this cruiser, and I'll go 1, 2, 3. Gain another victory point. So I'm at 6 strength, and where are they at? They're at 8. Transit diodes per active deploy to infantry. Each infantry must be adjacent to another unit and can be deployed below the deployment line. I'm not going to go below the line, but I'll put 1 here and 1 here. So now my strength here is at 8. I'd like to get 1 more so I could win the battle. And these are spent, but I've got a ton of trade goods now. So let's spend some trade goods, and I get to double the first one. Let's get 2 more materials. 1, 2, and now I need another material and 2 research. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3 more trade goods. 1, 2, 3. That'll get me 2 victory points each. I get to build 2 dreadnoughts. So we're going to build the first one here. It's 1, 2, 3, and then a T like that. So now my right side is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That'll beat 8. And then this side is 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to build another one, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. So this other one I'm going to put here. 1, 2, 3, in a T shape like that. And then I will spend 1 more resource just on an infantry right here to get that victory point. Okay, so that was a lot. Let's see if we've got war or 1 more strategy. It's going to be war. So a throne for the taking. So this is the end of the game. Just to show you, the other blue one I could have drawn is this one. It's just Empire Ascendant. It says this round ends immediately, and then you would draw 1 more strategy event that you'd be able to play before the final war. But that's not what I got. So we're on war, a throne for the taking. So we resolve the final war, and as we just calculated, the AI has 8. And I've got here on the right 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's a victory. So 3 points for me. And then on the left, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Again, that's more than 8. That's another 3 points for me. So that is the end of the game. And now we need to add up the score. And as a reminder, only I get a score. The AI does not get a score. I'm just going to compare my score to a chart and see how I did. So we'll start with the navigation track. I never got an objective there, so that's 0. And on the sheet itself, I've got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Only 14 victory points on the navigation sheet. That's okay. So the subtotal here is 14. Let's go to expansion next. I had the 9 for the objective, and then for the sheet, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I believe that's it. 10 here, so that's 19 total. For industry, this will be a big one. I had 5 for the objective. And then over here, 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9, 10, 19, plus another 15 is 34. And then every 2 of these is a point. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 3 more points. Okay, so 37 for the sheet. And then 42 is the subtotal with the objective. Now on warfare, we also did not get the objective. That's 0. But for the sheet, we've got 1, 2, 3. Minus 1 is down to 2. 3, 4, 5. 4, 3. Okay, so we're at 3 just by going down these columns. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So 18 here, and that's our subtotal. So now we need to add up those 4 scores, and yeah, that'll be it. Because the Mechatol Rec score was already included here, the Relic scores were included here, so just these 4. So that is a total next to my faction here of 93. So let's check the sheet. I think the first time I played, which was last night, I got 94, but that was on easy, and this was on medium. So 94 is pretty good. So below 60 would be a loss. 60 is fledgling domain. 80 is galactic power. 100 is ascendant authority. So I guess I'm in that middle range playing on medium. So I feel pretty decent about that. So I guess now I'll just give you my final thoughts. I really like this game. You know, it's kind of spreadsheets in space, but that works for me. It was not too difficult to grasp. It was fine that I had never done anything in the TI universe before. You know, I didn't showcase it here, but on the back of each of these faction cards, it gives you a bunch of flavor text. There's flavor text on all these cards. This one, you know, these are sort of minimal. Same with the relic cards, but it gives you a little bit of flavor and tells you kind of what this universe is all about. Oh, and this is just procedural error. I crossed that out. I should claim that. Just interrupt myself to do that real fast, because that'll drive me crazy. So anyway, yeah, if you're into roll and writes and you're into sci-fi stuff, this is definitely cool. I'm glad you can play it solo. It supports up to 8 players. I'm looking forward to going through the rest of the factions, because there are a bunch of them, and I'm sure they all play differently. And I will be using the asymmetric side of the boards for myself going forward. So the other side of all these boards is different, and each one of them is unique. So there are 8 navigation boards, 8 expansion boards, 8 industry boards, 8 warfare boards, and they all have this symmetrical side on the back, but the front side is different for every single one. So I think it'll be cool to mix and match those with the different factions. Some of the positives, the relic deck is pretty thick here, so I'm pretty sure you can only get 2 relics on navigation. I don't think there's relics anywhere else, unless maybe the asymmetrical sides will give you, some sneaky relics somewhere. But 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. That makes sense. So yeah, there's 16 total relic cards. So that's enough for if 8 players play, everybody can get 2 relics. So that's a lot of variety from a solo perspective. There's a little bit less on these agendas. So there's just 4 cards per stage. And again, 2 of them have the little star icon and 2 of them do not. So you're going to see half the cards every time you play, although you might get the top half or the bottom half one time or another time. But there's a little bit less variety in those. I saw some repeats there. Similarly, these objectives, there's only 3 per per sheet, 3 navigation, 3 expansion, etc. So even, collector was a repeat. I've seen that one a couple times now. So a little less variety there. And then the difficulty levels for the AI, it's fine. You just cross off, more and more stuff at the beginning to increase the difficulty. I think I'd prefer it if the AI had a score at the end, but I can see that being tricky to put together. So I don't begrudge them that, but I think that'd be better than the chart, just in my opinion, a little bit more fun. And then the events, I just want to talk about this real quick because I noticed it after the first time I played it. So obviously, in stages 2, 3, and 4, you've got a politics card, or a council card, a production card, and a war card, and in between there are 3 strategies. Those strategies are always either going to have 3 materials, 2 influence, or 1 research. Those are the only combinations. So you can kind of anticipate that as you go. The only exception is in the first not cycle, not era, stage. In stage 1, the middle card, it's always three cards in stage 1. You're going to have a 2 influence, and you're going to have a 3 materials, and the middle one, the position of those 2 can be swapped, but the middle one will always be 1 of each. And then the first card in the second stage will always be a research. You just don't know which one. Or I'm sorry, it will always be a strategy event. You just don't know which one. So that means before you ever get a war, a production, or a council card, you know you're going to get 4 strategy cards. And you'll have a triple material, you'll have a double influence, you'll have a 1 of each, and then you don't know what the last one's going to be. So with that knowledge, you can kind of go into this in future plays and have a sort of decent idea of how to plan for things. And I'm not saying that's, a positive thing or a negative thing. I'm just saying there's knowledge there and you can use it to your advantage. Because I think when you look through these cards and you kind of know how the decks assemble once you've played it once, it makes a lot of sense, and it's fairly predictable. In the same sense that the Invader deck from Spirit Island is predictable. You can kind of, know that there's some things that are coming and you can kind of plan for it, but you may not exactly know the order. And I played kind of similar to the way I played last night, but definitely more efficient. I had fewer points on expansion last night, the first time I played through it, and more on navigation. I had a lot more focus on navigation. Industry is pretty similar. I maxed out industry as well. So I'd like to maybe try and focus on something different next time. But I was able to get a lot more done on the warfare card. I ignored that a lot more the first time I played it. The way that ended up playing out was this first tier here was just empty and I just got swept. The second one I overcorrected and I won both of them. And then I left it empty, and then I won both of them again at the top. So my first time through on easy mode, I won 4 out of 8 battles. This time I won 5 out of 8, and I was able to use a lot more of what was going on here. Oh, I guess I forgot to use that resource to make another PDS. I guess I can learn from that somehow. I'll learn something. Yeah, again, as a quick reminder, these are all the faction cards. So I think they line up with all the factions that you can play in the normal TI games, but there are a ton of them. There's a lot going on here. So this will keep me busy, I think, for a long time. Yeah, it's 24 factions in total. So that's my thoughts. The only other thing is erasing these at the end is kind of a pain. The markers actually do a really good job, and they don't, you may have noticed they didn't really smudge throughout, so that's nice. The eraser that's on here, I think you saw me use it. It's good for like a small correction, but when you're done, you're going to need like a dry paper towel or a tissue or something. You've got to rub a little bit and put a little elbow behind it to get all of these clean, as well as this one here. So you got 5 sheets to take care of if you're playing solo. And even if you're playing multiplayer, you're going to kind of pass out paper towels and everybody's going to have 4 to do. It's a little bit of work, but it's not insurmountable. Again, the paper towel, when you use it, use a dry one. And that should get it all off. You just got to press a little bit, unless you happen to leave it for a long time, and then you'll probably have to wet it and work much harder to get these clean. So I'm going to have to clean these off now. But I think it's worth it for the fun factor. And then just for reference as well, obviously I was talking through it. My first game that I played previously was a learning game. And then this one, I was talking out loud a little bit more, so that kind of slows me down some. But both of the playthroughs in real time took just about 2 hours, like 2 hours, 5 minutes or so. So obviously this video is going to be edited down for time a little bit. I would guess this total video is like maybe an hour 10, an hour 20 after cutting out thinking and stuff. But yeah, 2 hours to play. So a little bit longer than some other roll and writes that I've played, though it's not a genre I'm super familiar with. So there you go. That's Twilight Inscription. Let me know what you think. Would you like to see me play this more on this channel? I'd be happy to play this one. The setup is very quick. So that was kind of nice and refreshing. It's a little bit of a change. Yeah, if you want to see me play it more, I'd be happy to play this one some more. I'll certainly play it on my own. And if you enjoyed it, please do leave a like, consider sharing the video, subscribe if you haven't done so yet. I'd appreciate that. And don't forget, you can always head over to my Ko-fi page, KO-FI. You can drop me a couple of dollars there. It helps to keep the channel running. Again, it's sort of like Patreon, but I'm really pushing on this channel to not have subscription-based stuff other than just like a normal YouTube subscription. I'm not looking for monthly payments or exclusives or just paywalls in general, but if you can throw me a few dollars, it really does make a big difference. So thank you again to everyone who has done that. I will be sure to call you out by name in the channel update video, which again, those come out every July and January. But that's what I've got this time. This was Emirates of Hacan in Twilight Inscription. I had an awesome time. I hope you enjoyed it too, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching Table for One.